Hello everyone, what's going on? It is MTEN here. Welcome back to another Terraria 1.4 Journeys and tutorial. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing maximum movement speed in Terraria 1.4. But not just horizontal movement speed, I'm going to be discussing vertical movement speed as well. So make sure you stick around to watch all of that. Anyway, let's get into the video. This is part of my max stats series. I will leave a link to the other videos in the description down below. So let's check out how to get the fastest player movement speed in the game. But before we get into that, the like goal for this video is 2,000 likes. If we could smash 2,000 likes, that would be absolutely amazing. Another final thing, this video is brought to you by the MTEN Discord. Yes, that's right, I have recently had a Discord set up. So if you want to go check that out, please make sure to click the link in the description and join my Discord link for some fun Discord events and some banter and hanging out with fellow MTEN viewers. Anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so let's start out with the character's base movement speed. Now, the Terraria character has a base movement speed of 15 miles per hour. However, if you are using Lightning, Frostbark or Terraspark boots, this speed increases to 34 miles per hour. Now, the reason why I bring up those items specifically is that if your character uses a buff as well as the Frostbark boots, your character will still run at 34 miles per hour. See how I just took a swiftness potion and my character is still running at 34 miles per hour. So to increase from that speed, you are going to want to use enough buffs and accessories to get above that 34 miles per hour threshold. However, when you are above that threshold, the Terraspark boots will still provide the 8% movement speed increase buff. So your character will travel a little bit faster with them equipped. Now, another thing I will mention for this video is I will not be including portals in any of my statistics and analysis here because you can get the player to travel at ridiculous speeds with the portal gun. It's not realistic for a specific loadout or anything like that. So I'm just going to exclude it for this video. Alright, so let's begin with the external buffs, and by that I mean asphalt blocks, which increase player movement speed dramatically, and the happy buff given off by the sunflowers. We can see the player has a boosted movement speed of 64 miles per hour, which is quite impressive considering I don't have any armor or accessories equipped at this point. But let's move on to armor, and we have the orichalcum helmet, the I'm sorry, I've definitely butchered that pronunciation, and the Valhalla Knights greaves. So each armor piece provides 8, 10 and 30% increased movement speed respectively. We can see that the player is now traveling at 90 miles per hour. Okay, so now let's move on to accessories. We have the Panic Necklace, the Celestial Shell, the Aglet and the Anklet of the Wind, as well as the Lightning, Frostbark and Terraspark boots, which are all equivalent upgrades of the Lightning boots. Each accessory has the Quick modifier, which on turn with all 7 accessories provides 28% increased movement speed. Now, I have equipped all 3 boots because the 8% increased movement speed added on each of them actually stacks. The rest of the abilities of the boots do not stack, it's just that 8% increased movement speed. Okay, so let's look at how fast my character can go now, and that is 129 miles per hour. Now, it does say that I have the werewolf buff equipped, but it turns out for this run, it wasn't working properly. Okay, one final thing to note is the Panic Necklace. This provides a 5-second buff after taking damage, where the player has an enormous increase in movement speed. We can see that the character is traveling at 183 miles per hour. That is a huge buff, and definitely worth noting despite being very brief. Okay, so let's look at consumable buffs. We have the Christmas Pudding and Swiftness Potion. The Christmas Pudding provides the Exquisitely Stuffed buff, but any other food item that provides that will do. Also, the Sugar Rush buff from the Slice of Cake, which is a place consumable, provides the 20% movement speed increase. We can see the player traveling at 229 miles per hour, but wait, there is more. Okay, so as we can see now, the werewolf buff is equipped. This will only work at night. So let's see how fast my player travels now. We can see that it's traveling up to 233 miles per hour. So that's something to note. that there is a slight increase from that now that it is working properly. And one final thing to do is switch out the panic necklace for the soaring insignia after the panic necklace buff is activated. We can see that the player is traveling at 240 miles per hour, which is incredible. Don't ask me why that happens with the soaring insignia, because I cannot tell you. I just know it does. And we can see here that the player is actually traveling at a nice cruisy 49 to 50 miles per hour on regular surfaces, which is quite fast. And that is without the panic necklace buff activated as well, and most of the happy buff. Okay, so let's also take a quick look at the fastest mount in the game. That is the Black Spot, which is a master mode drop from the Flying Dutchman. It travels at a horizontal movement speed of 82 miles per hour. This will not be affected by buffs and other things that increase movement speed. Alrighty, so now that we've worked out the fastest horizontal movement speed, we are going to go and take a look at vertical movement speed, starting with downwards movement speed. And for this, we have our first test, which is the slime mount, the gelatinous pillion, traveling at 102 miles per hour downwards. That is the fastest mount at traveling downwards. But we have another method, which is the celestial starboard and the gravity potion. So with that, we reach a speed of 175 miles per hour. So basically your character has to be flipped and you're technically boosting up, but instead your character is upside down. Now I tried this on another character, it only did 171 miles per hour. I may have been influenced by buffs, I'm not sure. But there is actually one other way to travel faster downwards, and that is by holding the portal gun. Yeah, I'm not really going to include this because I said no portal guns, but it sort of counts. The portal gun is the fastest way to travel downwards. It is affected by gravity, and you travel at 179 miles per hour when holding a portal gun. Okay, so you may expect that this may be the same method to traveling upwards, just flipped using the gravitation potion. However, there is another method, and that is using the inner tube accessory. Now the inner tube, well, it is a flotation device, and how it works is that your character will automatically float to the top of the water when you have this thing equipped. So you cannot have this accessory equipped and the Neptune shell or any equivalent of that for this accessory to work and this method to work. So to achieve the fastest upward movement speed possible, you are going to want to build a tunnel down to hell and fill it with water. So for this method, essentially we are creating a little player cannon, but also make sure your tunnel doesn't begin at hell, because all the water will evaporate once it reaches hell. You have to be at the very bottom of the cavern layer for this to work. Okay, so let's give this a test. I have to have the inner tube equipped, and I also have to have my celestial shell not equipped for this to work. Now, the inner tube will begin increasing in speed just exponentially, and I think infinitely. So to create the faster speed, you're going to want to be on a larger world. And we can see that my game pretty much broke there. That was an enormous speed. But I think we can do faster because that started with 0 as its base speed. Now, I am aware it is possible to create faster speeds using the portal gun, but as I've said, I'm not using portals for this test. Alright, so let's give it a run up. We're going to boost into the tunnel using the celestial starboard. So as we saw just then, our speed was reduced quite dramatically when we first hit the water barrier, but it ended up providing a very slightly increased speed outside of the water cannon, with the first test providing a maximum speed of 698 miles per hour. That one provided a maximum speed of 701 miles per hour. So I'm not sure, I think that's possibly just how the frames ran. I don't think there's that much of a difference with a run-up or without, but it was an interesting test. We can see that the player on a large world can reach speeds of 700 miles per hour vertically, which is incredible. Alright everyone, that is the fastest movement speed possible in Terraria 1.4 Journeys, and I hope you all did enjoy watching this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below what you would like to see next, and also, if you've made it to the end, comment treasure bag down below so that I know you've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching everyone. Also remember to check out the Discord, and I will see you all next time. Thank you.